Hi, family. Once again, I coming to you live with some good news. You know, when we come to you, we always come with some powerful thoughts, some mind changing thoughts that we all need for our lives as we go forward because our ill world is getting crazier, and every day is a new day. Every day, things are happening. Every day, we hear 90% of our news that we get from the mainstream media, it's all negative. Um, so today we want to deal with some issues that really concerns us. You can hear some aircraft flying over my house, but we want to talk to you about how to reprogram your mind. Because think about it, everybody that is coming to you, either from the television set, from the radio, from your school, your universities, they all after one thing, and they're all after your mind. They all after your mind and my mind. And so we need to protect that which God is giving us for our benefit, for our flourishing, for our growth, and for our success. And it's very critical that we protect our mind, because this program that we're doing is not just to teach you, but it's to let you also unlearn some things that you've been taught from childhood. You know, from our schools, we are all thought the same thing. Actually, what they was doing with us is that they were, created this narrative that we were all zoomed into one direction and one focus. So basically, we all think the same, talk the same, and a lot of us was broke. But thank God that that has changed. Some of us have gotten education. I'm talking about reprogramming our mind, and I'm not talking about no uh, college degree or PhD or whatever MBAs. Or to me, it's good to have them, but the real core or the underlying factor is that you get some powerful education on finances, on reprogramming of your mind. Because, like I said, as a man thinketh, so is he. The way you think is the way you become. And so, listen to me carefully, young people. Listen to me carefully, First Gate. Listen to me carefully, all of you out there that is interested in our teachings, in our, uh, you know, uh, uh, program in our YouTube channels. We want to bring light to you. And when light comes to you, the aha moment comes on. Common sense is not always common practice. We know stuff, but we just don't do stuff because we're lazy, because we're not disciplined. And so we hear about stuff, we read about stuff, we know about stuff, but in effect we cannot put things in gear. We cannot activate the things that we know, and based on that we don't get a good results that we're supposed to get. So what I need y'all to do this morning is to think about what you've been taught, what your parents taught you, what your school taught you, what your grandfather, your grandmama taught you. All those things has formulated and formed an idea in your mind. And like I said, your mind is a conscious seat. That is where life and death is. That is where you take your decisions. That is where you make, your choices. And it's important that you know that what you've been taught is just suicide. Okay? You've been taught suicide. You've been taught to kill yourself. You've been taught to beat on yourself. You've been taught to rely on some external forces. You've been taught to uh, uh, rely on daddy would do it, mama would do it. Not all of us were born in a silver spoon in our mouth. And so some of us have to struggle. Some of us have to fight on a daily basis to get what we want. You understand? So it is important to renew the mind that you have. Scriptures talks about renewing your mind and not being conforming to this world. That is absolutely right. The narrative that the world gives you is that you conform, and that is our greatest problem: conformity. We want to be like everybody. We want to be like everybody. We want to be like Mr. Kweku. We want to be like Mr. Cujo. We want to be like Mr. Dennis. We want to be like Mr. Calvin. We want to be like this. We want to be like that. But what about you being you? You being yourself to the fullest. And that is where you understand that the power comes from. It's not outside of you, it's inside of you. So you have to look inwardly to tap into the power that the Most High gave you. You understand? And so, how do you reprogram your mind? You reprogram your mind by changing the way you think. It comes by reading books, reading articles. It comes by you willing to change your situation. I always tell my people that if you are not after the highest truth, then you missed it. Because there's two forms of truth. You understand? Somebody can tell you something and tell you that is the truth. But there's another side to the story, and that is that the person didn't tell you the whole truth. There is the truth and the whole truth. So which means it's not twisted. The person is giving it to you as it is. Like, yo, bro, like yesterday I did that and that and that, and you're like, oh, okay, cool. But what you don't know is that he didn't give you the whole information. And that is what our people are doing to us. That is what our leaders are doing to us. They are not giving us the whole spectrum. They are not giving us the whole core of the story. What they're doing is that they're telling us half side of the story. So it is your duty, it is your task to go after the whole truth. Seek and you shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. Ask and you shall receive. So we need to be asking. We need to be seeking truth. We need to be knocking. And sometimes you need to knock the door down. Nobody's going to open the door for you. You need to kick it in. You understand? And so you begin to reprogram in your mind by definition that you want to change. You want to get out of the slums. You want to get out of this nature. You want to be a different person because you believe in you. You know that there is greater heights in you. Scripture says heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word, which word? That which is in you. The word is your imagination. The word is your thoughts. Your thought forms your life. Your thought forms your future. Your thoughts is the word. The word, W-O-R-D. That is the word. That powerful word in you have of got to be activated. I cannot stress that point enough. So you begin to reprogram in your mind. You begin to turn off the radio, turn off TV, turn off those goddamn movies that they always show you talking about blood, talking about voodoo, talking about juju, talking about you making money, talking about you deceiving people, talking about you being a crook. Everything that is showing you in Ghana, in West Africa, in Nigeria, in Burkina Faso, in Ivory Coast, all those things are trying to shift your focus. They're trying to steal your mind, your conscious. They're trying to steal your consciousness. And so you got to be aware of the dangers that are around you. And that is why you are moving an ounce. You are not going any further. You are not achieving nothing. Because you've been programmed, you've been conditioned to think a certain way. So we want you to reprogram your mind. Tell yourself that you will change the way you think and begin to focus on other things, different things. Begin to focus on positive things. And then we will take you in as we go further into how you can decode information that they put out there for you. You see, I cannot stress this point enough. How can you go to a bank in Ghana and watch this crazy Nigerian movies or Ghanaian movies or Nollywood, whatever you call it? It's nonsense. You're supposed to go to the bank and receive information on financing. That is why it's called bank. You understand? That is why it's called a bank. Actually, the name for the bank is not a bank, is where you go to exchange. You do exchange. You take paper money, you get real money. You take assets, you get money. You go to do an exchange. You see, so we will take you into how you can decode the information that it put out there for you. Okay, so fellas, family, I'm telling you, man, we've been so deep in this mess that we don't even know it. You know, it's so rooted in our subconscious that we don't even know it's there. And that is pathology, that is sickness. We don't even know we're sick and we need medicine. We don't even know that we are ill. We keep going on, believing that we're strong, we hype, that is pathetic. We are sick and we need a healing. And the healing comes through reprogramming your mind with positive words. Now you have to speak to you. When God spoke in the beginning in Genesis, he spoke to himself. He began to pull things that was already in him. When he said, let there be light, and there was light, God wasn't looking to the external, he was looking to the internal. He looked to himself and said, I already possess light. There is already light in me, and there is no darkness. In God, there is no shadow of turning. So God began to speak the thing that was already in him. You see, that your pastor will not tell you this because your pastor is a crook. He will not tell you this because all he wants is your money, and drive large, live large, eat large, travel large, and you be struggling to make ends meet. And so what I'm saying is that